Hello, my name is Nell and I have things to say about disability, chronic illness and mental health. I live with all of these things, as do many other people, and this channel is my outlet for talking about them, as painful and complicated as they sometimes are. I talk about them to reach out to other people who live with these things and to hopefully offer them some solidarity. But I also talk about them to reach out to people who don't live with any of these things and to hopefully give them a way of learning about what we go through. If that sounds like something that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel. Let me know what you think of my videos in the comments section. Come back every Wednesday when I upload new videos. And if you know of somebody who would enjoy or benefit from one of my videos, please feel free to share it with them. Today I want to talk about how capacity is a sliding scale for everyone, but particularly for people who deal with chronic illness and mental health. Now, I think for everybody, capacity isn't static. I think everybody will have days when they are a little better or a little worse at doing certain things. But I think for a lot of people, if capacity is around here, their ability to do something will just fluctuate a little bit. It won't be too extreme. When you're dealing with chronic illness and mental health, your capacity, the sliding scale of your capacity, it can slide all over the place. You can go from fully capable to being completely incapacitated. I think it's something that a lot of us, particularly those of us who have been dealing with chronic illness for a significant period of time, we know this about ourselves. We might not always recognize it. I think we recognize it in other people who deal with chronic illness. If they're struggling with it, if they're complaining about it, if they're saying, man, why can't I do this? I did this yesterday. We will be the ones who say to them, just because you did it yesterday doesn't mean you can do it today. Be easy on yourself. For us, we will think, no, that rule doesn't apply. I should be able to do it. We're harder on ourselves. But I think people who don't deal with this aren't really aware of how our chronic illness affects that sliding scale. There are so many things that are out of our control. This sliding scale, sometimes we can predict it a little bit. We might be able to understand that, okay, today I was pretty good, so that means I did a little too much, which means my capacity is going to be reduced tomorrow. Or I was doing okay and then I had, I've had a really bad sleep. My capacity is going to be reduced. Or I've had something really emotional affect me. My capacity is going to be reduced. Or I've had a great sleep. I've been doing okay. There are certain things where you can kind of predict that your capacity might be going okay. But chronic illness is incredibly unpredictable. There's a lot we don't know about it, a lot that affects us internally that we don't know. We don't know if going to bed early will actually give us a good sleep or not. We don't know if eating right is actually going to give us the nutrition that we need to fuel our bodies. There is so much that we don't know. We have really little control over that sliding scale of capacity. We can't just eat well, sleep right, and get the most out of our bodies. So if you don't have chronic illness and you have a chronically ill friend who says, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you, but you're thinking, wait a minute, you did that yesterday. You did that last week. I'm sure you've done that before. Why can't you do that now? Just know that they're not saying they can't do it ever. They just can't do it today. Their sliding scale of capacity is not in their favor today. When they've done it before, they were pretty good. Their sliding scale was in their favor. Their sliding scale was in the green. Their sliding scale was looking pretty positive. But right now, for whatever reason, their sliding scale is not looking great. And have compassion on that. They're not lying to you. They're not trying to get out of doing something. They are literally incapable of doing what they're asking, of what you're asking. And it even can be that we think we're going to be able to do something, so we will commit to something, and then when it comes time to do it, that scale has once again slid back away from where we wanted it to be. and it annoys us far more than it annoys anybody else. It disappoints us and it breaks our heart more than it does anybody else. The good news is that for all the times where you think your scale is here and then it ends up being here, there are just as many times when your scale is here and you think, man, I can't do this. Will I ever do it again? And eventually your scale is going to slide back in your favor. Just because you can't do something today does not mean you are no longer able to do it. It just might mean that your body needs rest, your mind needs rest, and eventually, some other day, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a week, maybe in a month, you will be able to do that activity, that project, that action again. Just give it time. But you do need to have compassion on yourself and know that you cannot always predict where your sliding scale is going to end up on any given day, which sucks. Yeah, I don't have a solution for this. I'm just describing a mechanic about chronic illness that sucks. The only thing to do is be kind to yourself and to ask people for understanding. All right. That's all for this one. Bless.